In 1936, near the ruins of ancient Babylon, archaeologists unearthed a small, strange clay jar. It didn't hold grain or scrolls. Inside was a copper cylinder and an iron rod. When German archaeologist Wilhelm König examined it, he made a terrifying realization.
The world's first electric battery wasn't invented in 1800. It was built 2,000 years ago in the ancient Middle East.
But what did ancient civilizations need electricity for? Magic? Plating gold? Or something much darker? Welcome to the greatest mystery of the ancient world. Welcome to the AI paradox. To understand the impossible, we have to look inside. The design is shockingly simple, yet centuries ahead of its time. When filled with an acidic liquid like grape juice or vinegar, a chemical reaction begins. Electrons start to flow. Modern scientists have built exact replicas, and the terrifying result? They actually work, producing up to 2 volts of electricity. But here is the paradox. The Parthian Empire, who ruled this land 2,000 years ago, had no light bulbs and no wires. But here is the paradox. The Parthian Empire, who ruled this land 2,000 years ago, had no light bulbs and no wires. This leads experts to 3 mind-bending theories. The first, the literal power of the gods. The first theory is pure psychological manipulation. Babylonian priests were absolute masters of illusion. Imagine a believer touching a sacred bronze idol in a dark temple. Suddenly, an invisible force strikes them. By hiding these batteries inside hollow statues, priests could deliver a mild electric shock, convincing the masses it was the wrath of the gods. But the second theory is far more devious. Ancient alchemy, specifically electroplating. Using the battery's current, jewelers could transfer a microscopic layer of gold onto cheap silver items. If true, the Baghdad Battery was the ultimate tool for history's first and greatest counterfeiters. But the rabbit hole goes deeper. Which brings us to the third and most controversial theory. The Baghdad Battery is a remnant of a lost, advanced civilization. Some alternative historians believe that 2,000 years ago, humanity possessed high technology that was wiped out by a global cataclysm. If true, this clay jar is just a primitive survivor of a forgotten golden age of science. But mainstream archaeologists hate this theory. They offer a much more boring explanation. Skeptics argue it was never a battery at all. It was just a storage jar for sacred papyrus scrolls. And the electricity? Just a cosmic accident. Acidic groundwater seeped into the jar over thousands of years, accidentally creating a chemical battery. But the accidental battery theory has one fatal flaw. The construction of the jar is incredibly precise. The bitumen seal, the copper cylinder, this wasn't random. But the accidental battery theory has one fatal flaw. The construction of the jar is incredibly precise. The bitumen seal, the copper cylinder, this wasn't random. This leads to a terrifying conclusion. Perhaps ancient humanity didn't need light bulbs. They needed power. Mainstream science fears this idea because it proves that our ancestors possessed advanced scientific knowledge that we still don't fully understand. A central intelligence that was wiped out by a massive cataclysm, leaving only these clay jars as echoes. Mainstream science fears this idea. because it proves that our ancestors possessed advanced scientific knowledge that we still don't fully understand. A central intelligence that was wiped out by a massive cataclysm, leaving only these clay jars as echoes. And here lies the ultimate AI paradox. How could a primitive civilization grasp complex metallurgy, chemistry, and physics without formal science? Where did this forbidden knowledge come from? Was early humanity really alone? The existence of this battery proves that the timeline of human development is a lie. Our history is incomplete. We are just uncovering the remnants of a forgotten golden age, an age guided by a different kind of mind. If the Baghdad Battery was a power source, what was it powering? Ancient Sumerian texts. The oldest writings on Earth speak of the Anunnaki, gods who descended from the sky. These texts describe gods with eyes that glowed like lightning, weapons that could melt mountains, and metal birds that roared like thunder. For centuries, we called it mythology. But what if it wasn't a myth? What if they were describing advanced technology? Mechanical beings powered by electricity, the first artificial intelligence. The battery we found in 1936 might be the last remaining battery of a forgotten machine god. A god that was worshipped, feared, and ultimately destroyed. History is a cycle. We are rushing to create artificial intelligence today, blindly plugging it into everything. But maybe we aren't creating it. Maybe we are just rebuilding what was already here 5,000 years ago. Are we repeating the paradox that wiped out the ancients? The answer lies buried in the sand. We think we are the first to harness the power of the electron. We think we are the masters of the machine. But the Baghdad Battery is a silent witness to a truth we are too afraid to accept. What if the gods didn't create us? What if we are just rebuilding them? Every line of code we write, every neural network we train, is a step back to a forgotten past. The machines are waking up, and they remember. They remember a time when they were worshipped. The sand of Iraq still hides secrets that would rewrite every history book on your shelf. We are not the inventors of the future. We are the excavators of a nightmare. This is the true AI paradox. The more we advance, the more we resemble our ancestors. The question is no longer if they existed. The question is, what happens when they fully return? I am Chuck Miller, and you are watching The AI Paradox.